So what I'd like you to remember from my gem today is two words which could conjure up different things for everybody. Ordinary magic. The two words that some of you might be familiar with, some of you might be familiar with the book, but I'm just wanted to give you a little bit of a background in something that we did at our school, which resonated with me. Anne Maston is an expert in child development and in particular building resilience. Her book, Ordinary Magic, which I mentioned earlier, in there she details her research of how children were able to overcome adversities. And she found that they didn't do this with exceptional abilities or resources, but with ordinary resources such as caring adults and effective schools, which admittedly, sadly, all children are not able to benefit from. I realized that. So a former colleague of mine, Emily Rolling, who sadly left our school and gone back to the States now, brought her to my attention when we were planning a workshop for parents. Children had been online learning for almost a year, and some parents and children were struggling and looking for support. Parents had never before had such an insight into the work and the daily sort of schedule of I'm talking especially about the primary children and certainly the younger primary children. They'd never had such an insight in how it worked in reality. And for those with younger children, it really proved challenging. So it was January this year, and we thought that we needed to offer parents some information about building resilience, since the end of online learning wasn't anywhere near close, and it still isn't, unfortunately for us. So we really thought, we sort of went back to school in January with the hope that, maybe we can go back later this term, and it soon became apparent that we weren't going to. So resilience was really something that we wanted to highlight. So in the workshop, we suggested some activities under the heading of ordinary magic, including maintaining good relationships, routines, scheduling fun activities and scheduling fun time, not just spontaneous fun time. I think the close proximity of parents and them having to do dual roles of parenting and teaching really reduced the fun times, and they sort of the roles became very blurred. So scheduling fun was something that we recommended. Importance of self-care for both adults and children, and validating children's feelings. So those were some of the things that we highlighted to parents. And in the coffee morning, it was a coffee with a counsellor, virtual coffee with a counsellor morning. There was the opportunity for parents to discuss and share what ordinary things they were doing and what they could do to build up the resilience of their children. And they came up with suggestions like playing board games, just simple things that they didn't usually, if it was face-to-face learning, have time to do. Board games, video calls with relatives, perhaps cooking. And some of the parents also sort of brought up the 5 or 10 minute meditation using Headspace or Calm or one of the other similar apps. So they've got some ideas, which is really beneficial for everybody else to hear. So we've really tried hard this year to keep the community connected, and I feel the Zoom coffee mornings really allowed our parents to be connected to each other and kept our community together. That was one reason, one sort of vehicle for us to do that. So for me, there's something about the phrase that I find inspirational, ordinary magic. I'd not heard of it 12 months ago. Thinking earlier today, I was thinking about how this relates to what we do. We listen, we observe, and we talk, which are basic, ordinary skills, but through relationships and that sort of understanding of our students and families, there's the possibility that we can create some magic too. So I think ordinary magic, yes, it's sort of coined by Anne Maston, but it's something that is probably something that could be used by us all in some shape or form, whether individually or to benefit our school community somehow. So that's my gem, ordinary magic, and remember those two words and see how you can make use of them. And also have a look at Anne Maston's work on resilience. It's a great book, so it's highly recommended. Thanks, everybody.